Hello, everyone. This is Metal Horror Gamer with my special guests.
Hi, it's me, Mother Mischief here.
And we are talking about Rampage, the 2018 film adaptation to the video game Rampage. Obviously, a movie about video games never really
Translates well.
Yeah. It's usually ends up, if not decent, horrible.
There's Street Fighter horrible, and then there's what?
I wouldn't even say Street Fighter is
No, Street Fighter was horrible.
Is the bottom of the list because it's down there. But watch House of the Dead. And
yeah, House of the Dead.
That's even worse. So, yeah. I mean, video game movies aren't known for being the best of the best. There are some that I do like Mortal Kombat and Doom. You know, Doom is considered a failure, but as a film, it's still a fun film with some good action in there, so I still enjoy it.
It disappointed me.
Well, it disappointed a lot of people. It didn't have actual demons in there.
I know, I was hoping to see some damn demons.
They were just like experiments gone wrong. But
Carl Urban makes it all better.
I still find it fun because I like the cast with Dwayne Johnson and
all about Carl Urban in that movie.
Well, I'm talking about Carl Urban.
Yes, talk about him.
He's great in that film. But this one doesn't have Carl Urban. This is just Dwayne Johnson, and it's Rampage.
Sad. Nah.
Now, before this movie came out, when I saw the trailer,
you were freaking hyped for it.
I was already hyped for it just because I figured they make so many video game movies off of games that have deep stories, and it never pans out because they usually screw over the story and go with their own direction, which ruins it. Rampage, as far as I remember, doesn't really have much of a story.
It was just
the only story
monsters.
I remember in the game is that these scientists became monsters, so when you died, you transformed back into the scientist.
Yeah.
And that was basically it. Now, obviously, again, this movie did not go that route because these animals weren't scientists. They were just animals. But I'm okay with that. It seems a little more better than the scientist route. And when I told my wife when I wanted from this film, I just wanted to see monsters fucking up a city. That's all I needed. And luckily, this film really just gave me what I wanted. Just gave me monsters fucking up people and fucking up a city. What more could I ask for? I mean, and the story was just the ice on the cake. The story was fine. The acting was fine. The characters were fine.
But I mean, like you said, it gave it more room to be creative with it because, I mean, I don't even remember either when seeing Rampage, didn't really have a story.
Yeah.
So that's where it kind of, gives you that creativity for it.
Okay, but how about this? Because this is more of a discussion of Rampage, not really a review of Rampage. But before we actually discuss certain parts of it, just what were your general feelings about the movie? Like almost like a little mini review, summed up in a few words.
I thought the movie in general was really good. It did give you a lot of action. One thing that I did like is that when it gave you these, how would you say, beasts or monsters?
Monsters.
When it gave you the monsters, it lets you see them instead of more like the human cast of it.
Yeah. I
like that ratio. That's one thing that I did like about it is that you didn't get too much of the people, like in general, just that human cast, I mean, like, even I have to agree with you when you said, it gave you that aspect of what the game was, which was, all these monsters destroying the city. And then, of course, seeing the very end fight, which was really good. Still thought Lizzie should have won that. But, yeah, I mean, all in all, it was a pretty good film.
How'd you feel about the acting and the characters?
The acting and the characters? They were kind of all right. They were okay.
No problems with it?
I didn't have any problems with the characters.
All right. If I had to say a few words about Rampage, about what I actually thought about it, there was never a part where I was annoyed or I hated. Like, there was some humor, but it was legitimate humor. It wasn't like
forced.
It wasn't Marvel forced Disney humor. That's just not. That's just not funny. This one didn't feel like it. It actually felt like they were really trying to real humor in the film, mixing it with, decent acting and a decent story and lots of action with the monsters, which is what I wanted, you know, and it gave me what I wanted in that aspect. I like the Easter eggs of the film. Like,
when they have
like
that...
in that guy's office,
yeah,
he has the Rampage arcade machine in the background, which I was like...
I know, I saw that, I was like,
that's awesome.
Cool.
You know, I like that a lot. But not just that, I like that they even tried to stay close to the game. Like, another movie might have given us a bunch of different types of monsters, of different animals.
Yeah.
This one stayed true to the original game. It gave you an ape, it gave you a wolf, and it gave you a lizard. Another thing I liked about it is that they sticked with the names for the most part. Like, the ape was called George.
Yeah.
And the wolf, they said they were calling it Ralph, which I did like. The only one they never said was the lizard's name, which was Lizzie. They never technically said the name, but...
Well, what was she technically? Like an alligator? Crocodile?
I think it was like an alligator or something. It could have been a crocodile. I don't know. But...
one of them.
Obviously, it's a lizard. Lizzie, it makes sense. They never called it that, but that's fine. You know, we all know what it is. I'm just glad you called the other two by their names. And
I was sad when Ralph died.
You know, seeing the fighting, like when they're attacking, like the military,
yeah,
or when they're actually in the city, just working together, just killing everyone in their path, destroying tanks, destroying aircrafts. That was really fun. I thought that was just awesome to see, and it was cool seeing them just destroying everything. And, you know, and I had no problems with the acting. You know, I'm like, the acting's fine. The Rock was funny. I had no problems with any of it, really.
The only problem I say I have with it, and of course you disagree with me on this, is, you know, when George is fighting Lizzie, how, you know, you still saw bits and parts of, you know, Dwayne Johnson in there. I wish I would have just taken those parts out and just stuck strictly on them two.
George wouldn't have died if he didn't have any help.
He should have died.
No.
Lizzie should have won.
George is the main character.
I know, but still.
Why would you want him to die? I thought he was such a...
I'm sorry, I'm one of those...
You relate to the character when you first see it, and you see how he's the last of his kind and everything. I don't want him to die.
I guess because I'm one of those
I'm not
that there's
cold-hearted
not...
like that.
Oh my god, so I am. I'm just saying there's not always a happy ending.
Who goes for Liz? She's the bad guy.
I guess I go for the bad guys.
I like bad guys, but not when it comes to like that. That's just no.
But for it to be a fight like that, you know, it was obvious that Lizzie should have won that one.
One-on-one.
Animals being animals.
A one-on-one fight, yeah, and especially with a lizard, with a crocodile or an alligator, they have that tough skin, and it just got even amplified with the Rampage virus in them. So yeah, it most likely should have won. But George had help with Dwayne Johnson's character, which like.
Kind of, that's the only thing that kind of annoyed me, but I get why they did it.
And he wasn't really help. He was more of a distraction, so that way George could kill it, which I had no problem with. Is the good animal survives, the good animal lives. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to see another King Kong.
But it was
when a helpless ape who had no control over this gets killed for no fucking reason. I didn't want to see that again. I don't like that. You know, Kong did nothing wrong. Kong shouldn't have been killed. So I don't like seeing... I didn't want George to die. George
you know that
did
bastard
nothing wrong.
Really did.
Well, I know. I didn't like that they implied that he was Dick. I was like, I don't want to see that again. You know, a poor innocent animal like that dying for no fucking reason.
But you think the hits that he took, he should have been dead?
No, well, if he didn't have that virus, he would have died. But that virus increases regeneration.
That, but,
so
I mean, still.
He lived because of it. And I didn't care when Ralph died. I'm like, all right, well, you have to get him out of the way.
Well, he was kind of my little favorite there.
George was my favorite. Just
and then I saw his head get ripped off. I was just like, okay, well.
I guess even when I played the game, I always usually picked George.
I think a lot of people picked George, though.
Just because he was the mascot early, because
yeah.
everyone thought of like, King Kong and buildings and so that's why George has always been the main focus of Rampage. And Lizzie and Ralph has always been kind of the side.
Yeah,
ones.
they've been the two in the back.
But
I mean, like I said, I get why they did it. Don't really have a problem with it, but I mean, me being me, I guess I'm an asshole that way. Apparently, that I would have just played it as though it was real. George would have died.
No, I like the way it ended. The bad thing about it is, I can definitely see them trying to make a sequel out of it, and I'm telling you right now, I don't want one.
There's no need for
I like the
a
movie,
sequel.
but there's not much more you can do. Because what? You're going to add a different animal now that's not from the game and make that one a monster? You know, I don't need it. And it's just like, there's no need for a sequel. Instead of making a sequel, find another game and make a good movie out of that one. You know, don't worry about sequels.
Okay, random question. What video game would you like to see them do?
I don't
Like,
know.
if
There's
done
too many.
right.
You need to give me more of a construct. I mean, like, just telling me any video game is too much to think about. Give me something like either specific genre, specific time period. So, I don't know. I need something to narrow the gap.
No narrowing.
Well, then I can't
Just
I can't give you an answer. I don't know. It's too much to think.
Like whether okay, let's restrict it on like old video games
So
that we grew up.
What do you mean old? Like arcades, or you just mean
like arcades.
NES or Genesis or what? Just arcades?
Yeah, and arcades. Which one would you personally like to see?
I don't know. I don't play a lot of
If it could have been done right. Or take it from like your favorite console.
You know what they should do, and it might not be the most intelligent film, but it would be a damn good action film and a good sci-fi film. Is Space Invaders.
Space Invaders?
Just take the concept of aliens coming down, fucking up people on Earth, and then fighting.
We had that. It's called Independence Day.
That wasn't the same. That added a bunch of other crap.
I know, but
so
I'm just saying.
Space Invaders would be fun if they did it right.
It would be
if they
interesting.
did it like Rampage.
If they did it like
Space
Rampage?
Invaders would be great. It's just an arcade one. If you wanted me to think more about console games, that's a tough one because I automatically go towards the horror games just because those seem the most interesting because there'll be good
like
horror
sticking
films.
with the horror genre, like what video game?
I'd want
from
to
the
see
horror
Resident
genre?
Evil, and I mean Resident Evil. I mean I want to see the story of the first game translated into a film, and a real horror film.
So none of this Alice or anything like that.
A real group of like the Stars group being attacked by the dogs, going into the mansion, having to figure out what's going on here, running into zombies and monsters. That's perfect horror film right there. Why they went the other route for the actual films, I don't know. The game gave you a perfect story to work with, and you just threw it out the window.
And you know me, mine was always Silent Hill. And yes, I know we're getting off topic here, but when I first heard that they were doing that Silent Hill movie, I was hyped. Until I saw how they did it, I was kind of pissed off. I enjoyed the movie, don't get me wrong, but I was still kind of ticked off about how they did it.
I mean, Silent Hill did some things right.
Right, yeah.
But they obviously also fucked up on other parts.
Yeah.
Like making Alessa the bad guy when she's really not in the game.
I know a lot of people were pissed off that they saw that it was a mother and not the father.
Yeah, they took out Harry because the guy says, well, a person protecting their child is more like a female. So you're saying a father can't do that?
Yeah,
a father can't love his
that's
child.
That's what pissed me off because I was expecting to see him in there.
But that's But that's also because the director, he actually wanted to make a movie with just women. He didn't want men in there. And the guy who played Boromir from Lord of the Rings, when he was in that film, he was forced in there. And so was the cop character. The other guy, the detective.
Yeah.
He was forced in there because they said, you got to have some male characters. And he was like,
but notice how he did it too. That they were just, you never really saw them. You saw them bits and parts here and there.
There's a reason why the film focuses on the mom, Alessa, Sybil, and that one crazy woman who's Alessa's mom.
Yeah.
Dahlia Gillespie.
Yeah.
And the main fucking bitch that burn them.
Yeah.
It's all women. Because that's all he wanted.
All women,
he just wanted women. And another problem with that film was obviously because
and he had a hallway full of those nurses.
Another problem with the film was that they added Pyramid Head, and in the lore of Silent Hill, Pyramid Head
was not supposed to be.
He only belongs in James's Silent Hill because
that was his.
He's a construct of James's mind and of his guilt. So no James, no Pyramid Head.
Because that's what Silent Hill did. It just pretty much made this whole little world of your own figures of doubt and everything else. So technically, Pyramid Head was not supposed to be in there.
But thinking about that and going back to Rampage, it's like. It's refreshing to see a video game film of an adaptation of a game finally seem to be doing well.
Yeah.
The Rampage has been getting it looks like it's been getting good reviews.
It has.
It's been making its money. And to me, I hope this is a trend so we can start seeing more video games coming into movies and being good. Yeah. Now, other ones, some people did not like the Warcraft movie. And from the reviews I saw, were people that obviously
never played it.
Only played WoW because they were just asking for where's this race, where's that race?
They were asking where the Pandarians were.
This is nowhere near the WoW timeline. Yeah. This is way before, so I don't want to see those races in there because they're not nothing to do in this story. Now, did it even get the story fully correct? No. But it still was a decent enough film. It could have been better. It. I wish it was better. Yeah. But it was okay. Just like I said with Doom. Doom wasn't an amazing film, but I still enjoyed it because I saw them killing monsters and just fighting, and Carl Urban's great. The Rock was great. So Urban. I still enjoyed the movie. And all this time, all these years, to me, the best film adaptation to a video game has always been Mortal Kombat. Mm-hmm. Because to me, that one seemed the most... They did deviate from the game bits and parts, like with Scorpion's little...
Yeah, that spear. Part I didn't like, but it was still a good movie.
But other than that, it gave you what you wanted. You wanted the tournament, you got the characters. Most of the characters looked like the way they looked in the game, and they were just fighting. Yeah.
Goro was another one.
Overall, that was, to me, the best video game movie. But the question is Rampage now the best film adaptation to a video game? That's the question.
I think it's up there with, those very few who did make it very well.
A part of me wants to say it is. Yeah. Because there was nothing wrong with it from my eyes. It just did exactly what I wanted. Just give me monsters fighting and destroying the city.
That's the thing, is that it did not stray away from what it essentially was. And it gave you that.
And anything, it gave you a kind of interesting story around it, and it kind of gave you with the Rock as a decent character that I didn't mind following throughout the film because I liked him as a character. And and I felt for like George when he said that he watched his mom get cut up and killed by a bunch of poachers.
Yeah, that was
and I felt sad for it. And
I'm like, aw.
But there was one part when we were watching the film, I was next to my brother, and when the guy told the Rock, why don't you like people? You always like his animals. And he's like, I'm going to go home and spend time with my dogs. We joked like he was going to go home and be like, oh. And then all these animals were going to come out of his apartment. Like Ace Ventura.
Ace Ventura style.
But again,
I want to see Dwayne Johnson do that.
I like the character. I liked his interactions with George, how they had a special bond, they did sign language, they talked. I liked seeing that. And it gave me a good enough story that fit well with the actual rest of the film. So it makes me think maybe Rampage is the best film adaptation to a video game. Maybe even more so than Mortal Kombat. I love the Mortal Kombat film. And it has a special place in my heart because nostalgia and I grew up with it.
Love that movie.
But maybe Rampage is number 1 now. Maybe Mortal Kombat's number 2.
No.
It might be.
My Mortal Kombat.
Because to me, there's nothing really else that can even really compare to what Rampage and Mortal Kombat did. No other game movie, Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Street Fighter, the Dead or Alive games, Super Mario Brothers, the Assassin's Creed game.
Oh my god, the Super Mario
I haven't watched the Assassin's Creed movie, but everyone says it's kind of sucks. Now, I haven't seen the new Tomb Raider, which I do want to see. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it is. People say I don't want to see it because she's not as good looking as Angelina Jolie, which I think is bullshit because Angelina Jolie is ugly to begin with. But I'm not saying this girl's better looking, but she looks more like the character from the new game than Angelina Jolie looked like the original character.
What they have to remember is that this is, going before that time when she was, kind of starting out at the beginning.
And
that's what a lot of people tend to forget.
And from the trailer what I saw, it looked like an adaptation to the reboot game. Yeah. She's on an island, there's guys there, she has the same outfit, she's solving puzzles, she's jumping over obstacles.
Which I still want to see that.
This reminds me of Tomb Raider. Angelina Jolie's films did not remind me of Tomb Raider. No. It was just boring, it was lame, it had nothing to do with Tomb Raider.
It was just that movie that you saw once and then just never see it again.
I mean, it was a crappy film, and I see people trying to say, my Tomb Raider film is that one, my Tomb Raider is that one. It's like, well, playing the game, that movie sucks, so no. And I haven't seen the recent one. It could suck too. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But Rampage I did see, so I can only compare what I've seen. And to me, Rampage might be the best adaptation so far.
And see, how you feel with that is how I feel with Judge Dredd. Going off topic again, I know. But, Sylvester Stallone's version of it, I didn't really care for. I didn't like. But, Carl Urban's version that he did, I liked it. Because to me, he stuck to the character.
Yeah, it's more faithful.
Yeah.
So, this makes me hope if they are going to make more games into movies and try to make them really good like the way they did Rampage, what else could they do now? I mean, obviously, people are going to think about the main titles. They're going to think about Street Fighter. They're going to think about Mortal Kombat. They're going to think about Mario and stuff like that. But those have already been done, and most of them not done very well.
Yeah.
Now, they could be done well, but Hollywood's just not really good at making films. And they always find ways to fuck up a video game. Like, some reason they're insulted to use the real stories. It's like they feel they have to make their own. It's like the game already gave you...
It's provided that already.
Its story. Just take it. I mean, nobody gets a novel and says, we're going to change this whole fucking novel. They don't do that. They usually change parts of the novels, but they don't completely overhaul it, Change certain stuff for the films, but it's not a complete overhaul like video game movies do. They overhaul everything in these movies.
Very true.
And it's like, what does this have to do with the game? It has nothing to do with it. Resident Evil had nothing to do with the game.
Yeah,
nothing.
That irritated me. I mean, the only thing that stuck true was freaking Nemesis, and that was it.
And eventually, the later movies just started to copy scenes from the game and put them in the movies.
The fight scenes. I mean, the fight scene with Wesker.
I know. It was
the
exactly
same thing
from Resident Evil 5.
Yeah.
And it was like, what I want you to take from the game, I don't necessarily mean take the exact scene with the same choreography. I mean, take the story and the characters.
Take what the game is essentially and, just put that into the movie.
I understand not every game could be like that.
Yeah.
But one movie that should have been good, which I haven't seen yet, so I don't really know if it's bad, but everyone says it is, was the Assassin's Creed. That game, you don't even have, for a film, you don't have to even follow the damn game. We all know that it's always a different person's ancestry, and they go back into their mind and they look at their ancestors and we see their adventure. Mm-hmm. That's all it has to be. You don't even have to follow the story of Desmond. Just get some random person, put them in the Animus or whatever it's called. I think it's called that, and show that person's ancestor fighting Templars, and that's all you need for Assassin's Creed. That should have been an easy film to make. You have so much freedom on that film. And apparently it didn't do well.
I don't know. I can't say anything because I never saw it.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Twisted Metal film. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
But knowing Hollywood, they would just fuck that up. They would really
fuck it up.
They would have probably almost like 15 minutes of actual fighting in the cars and boring story. So, yeah, for Rampage, it's pretty crazy how they were able to do this from a game like this. I know some people are just like, they're going to make a movie out of Rampage. And I was like, I'm not against it as long as they just show me the monsters.
See,
and it did well with that.
You said you were hyped for the movie when you first heard about it. Me, on the other hand, I was just like, how the hell?
I wasn't really hyped when I heard about it. I was hyped when we first saw the trailer in theaters. And I saw a lot of the monsters fighting. I was like, that's what I want. Just give me that. And I'm happy with it. But see, that's what it gave me.
I mean, that's what kind of, not had me concerned, but I was more curious about is that what you were seeing in the trailers, were you going to actually see that in the movie? And you did. But luckily, yeah, because I mean, there's been times when you see something in the trailer and it's not even in the film itself. So I'm just like, and when I saw this, I was just like, I was like, I didn't know how to take to it at all. So I was just like, I guess we'll check it out when it came out, and we did. My hope is just that they just don't make a sequel out of it. It's like, don't do a sequel. This is one movie that really doesn't need one. Like, it doesn't. Oh, look at this. Look at that potential sequel. Oh God. Director Brad. That's it. It's fucked. Director Brad Payton was asked if the rat in the beginning of the film was based on Larry from the Atari Lynx port of the original game. Payton responded, "We didn't name him Larry, but I'm going to use that if there is a sequel. I'm going to make the rat's name Larry." Okay. Oh, yeah, I know there were other monsters in the other games. I don't remember them as well as the first one. But I do remember the rat vaguely.
Speaking of the rat, I did like that part in the beginning. That she was trapped in space with a fucking giant rat.
I was like, oh, hell no.
I was just like, that's kind of creepy, you know. So I actually did like that scene. So, but I don't think the movie needs a sequel. I know Hollywood, it makes money. They're gonna be like, let's make a sequel out of it. That's the first thing they're thinking of. It doesn't really need one.
I don't think it.
Just move on to the next game and make a movie out of that.
Yeah.
Don't need a sequel. Cool. You know, one that could be good, but it would have to be handled like Lord of the Rings.
What
is the Legend of Zelda?
Yes.
So it had to be done. I know people say Zelda's supposed to be kid friendly, but you know that kind of world, it needs to be dark. It needs to be serious because you know it's a kid, or you could say a teenager or whatever, fighting fucking hordes of monsters and shit. You know that should be dark. That should not be kid friendly. Like, not saying it has to be like ultra violence gore. I'm just saying it needs to be like Lord of the Rings, where it's like a mixture where kids can watch it, but it's also serious enough so adults don't feel completely annoyed with it, like Narnia. That's just completely kids crap. You know, so it can't be handled like that. It has to be handled 50-50. Zelda could be a good movie.
Zelda could be, but
if they do it right,
Hollywood, they probably fuck it up.
They probably wouldn't do it right. Or just hire Legolas to play Orlando Bloom to play Link. There you go.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, so overall, I think what we're saying is that this was a pretty good monster film, right? Yeah. And it's a damn good video game film adaptation. To me, it was really well done. And for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I suggest you go watch it. At
least give it a watch.
It's a fun movie. The acting is good. The story's decent, and the action is what you wanted. I love seeing those spec op guys being like picked off one by Ralph the wolf in the forest, just taking them out one by one, and then seeing when Lizzie comes out, and you're just like, holy fuck, that's the biggest one out of all of them, 'cause it's a fucking alligator or a crocodile or whatever, and that's even more scarier than the other two. So it's like, whew, that's crazy. But
kind of, I would have freaked if I saw that shit coming out of the water.
You know, it's a fun movie, and there's nothing really wrong with it. I don't think so. I mean, some people might be like, it's not artistic enough. Well, I don't give a shit. It's not supposed to be artistic. It's supposed to be a movie about a video game. So I don't give a shit about that. I'm not saying it's going to win any Oscars. You know, no. It could win special effects. You know, it's a great special effects.
I mean, it did have good special effects.
Yeah, it had very good special effects. But it's a fun movie. It's what a video game movie should be. A cool one that they should do should be Metal Gear Solid. That would be a pretty cool one. Yes. An espionage type of film. That one could be dark, could be serious for adults, and that would be a cool one. But most people would probably say you need to get Hideo Kojima to direct the film. Yeah. Because, let's be honest, those Metal Gear games are pretty much movies on their own. Sometimes there's more cutscenes than there are gameplay. So. Okay,
now rewinding the button on you for a bit. Going back to when we played like Halo or Gears of War.
Yeah.
Which one of those two would you really like to see being made a movie? I mean, yeah.
Oh, I don't know, because that's like my nerdy sci-fi side would be like Halo all the way, because I think of it more like Aliens. Yeah. But my horror fan in me would say Gears of War, because it's darker, it's more gritty, it's gonna be a lot more bloodier, a lot more action, and be more like an '80s Predator film with all the big guys, one-liners.
The only thing I don't know sad is if they put another Carmine in there and kill them off.
You know they would.
Yes, but that makes me sad.
So I'm just like, I don't know what. I can't.
See, I like dark and gritty, so myself, I would lean towards Gears of War because I want to see somebody get chainsawed.
Okay, well, besides Gears of War, if you had to pick a game or a couple games you'd want to see for films, what games would they be?
I don't know why my mind is going towards Castlevania.
That would be a good one if they did it right.
If they did it right.
It'd be a damn cool one. Seeing a vampire hunter going out there killing monsters like Frankenstein monsters, wolfmen, skeletons, Medusa heads, fighting Dracula. That'd be a pretty cool badass film if done right.
If done right.
And it would have to be kept in that time period. I would not want to see a modern.
Just keep it in that
Castlevania, and then not be like he has a pistol called the Vampire Killer. That'd be crappy. No. It has to be the Whip, and it has to be Simon Belmont, or You could start before that and make it Trevor Belmont.
Yes.
So, but it has to be a Belmont member, one of those two, and that would be. I would love to watch that. I would love to watch it.
I feel bad because I never even finished watching the little animated series on Netflix about it.
Only had like how many episodes?
I know, but I didn't even finish it.
Okay, so Castlevania's one for you. If I had to pick one right now, I'm looking at my games right now. I'm trying to think of something. It's hard to pick a game. Resistance could be a fun game though, a fun film they could do. But the aliens in Resistance are pretty cool. The Chimera.
Yeah,
and I like the whole thing where we didn't actually finish World War II or even win it because the aliens killed the Russians and they were invading slowly throughout Europe, and technically World War II was changed because of that. It's an interesting game. That could be a cool movie. What would be your second game you'd want to see into a movie?
Second game I would want to see into a movie? I was gonna... Well, from you playing it...
What?
I was thinking Killzone when you said it.
Well, Killzone would be a cool one just because of the hell gas.
Yeah, the hell gas I would like to see.
Seeing something like that would be pretty damn badass. So
yeah.
Killzone would be probably a really cool movie if they did it right.
One that I would love to see because I loved it so much playing when it came out. And I remember playing it from the very first game. But I don't think anybody could get it right, would be God of War.
The God of War would be a cool one if they did it right.
I would like to, because I love that game so much.
Nothing but just a half-naked Greek guy, half-god, demigod, killing Greek gods and mythical creatures, tearing off their heads and having sex with a bunch of girls. Yeah, that'd be a cool movie.
But guess what? Guess who would probably be...
The Rock?
Yes!
Ares!
Oh my god.
Do you smell what Kratos is cooking?
So when he sees Ares or Zeus again, is he going to be doing that little thing that he always did?
What?
Yeah, Finally.
Finally, Kratos is back in Mount Olympus.
Oh my god, I would love to fucking see that.
Speaking of that, you know a film that could be a movie, a game I would like to see as a film? Would be Devil May Cry.
Oh, Devil May Cry. Another one of my ultimate
That would be
favorites.
a cool, fast-paced action film. Just Dante killing demons left and right. You know, that'd be pretty badass. You know, this one, I'd want to see this film, but it would have to be a CGI animated film, because it's not live action. Would be Mario Kart.
Oh my god, I would hate that damn blue
I would love to see like a huge film based around this tournament that's going on in Mario Kart. And
but you know what I want to see in Mario Kart?
That'd be awesome.
The Luigi Death Stare.
Luigi Death Stare. Yeah, that would have to be in there.
That would have to be a must.
Anything else you would want to see in a film?
I'm still laughing about the Olympus thing. One thing I'm thinking, I don't know if any of you guys out there would want to see it, but I know Turok.
That could be interesting.
That would be
because of it's like a dinosaurs.
And I remember playing that game when I was younger because of my brother. He had it. So
actually,
I would just jack it.
I know another one I want to see. It was done already, but it could be done better, and that's Doom.
Doom.
Seeing Doom done the right way, fighting demons and entering hell, and having
I want to see demons
and having Doom guy just be like, the old saying. He's not trapped in hell with them. They're trapped in hell with him. He's the one that's scary, not the demons. Mm-hmm. They're scared of his ass.
Well, he's going around killing all their asses.
Because that's how badass Doom guy is. And I would like a film like that where he's in hell, but he's not really scared being there. They're scared that he's there. So that would be a pretty badass film. That I would like to see that. So yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be.
Again, I said Twisted Metal would probably be cool if you got Sweet Tooth done right and then everything like that.
Oh, yeah. That would be so cool to see all those characters come to life.
Most likely they wouldn't do it right, but it would be cool.
It would be.
Bayonetta would be awesome.
Oh, Bayonetta.
You'd have to get a really fine, smoking hot chick to play Bayonetta.
Yes.
Woo. That'd be great. That'd be great. Oh!
I love Bayonetta.
Metroid would be the game, but
that is one I would say
you have to get Ridley Scott to make that film. Get Ridley Scott to direct that film.
Ridley Scott would be the only one I would trust.
It's a dark, sci-fi movie, and it's almost like, Samus, she's alone on this planet fighting aliens left and right. She's a badass, but it's also dark and scary. Yeah. Metroid would be an amazing film.
Metroid would be my number one of having, a movie being made about a video game. Yeah, based off a video game.
That one would be awesome. That would definitely be one they should do.
Yeah.
But it has to be taken seriously. And it has to be like Alien, where it's dark. It's because Metroid was heavily inspired by Alien.
Yeah.
So it would need to be like that as well. And the Metroid's
very heavy.
The Metroid's a very scary creature that it just latches onto your head and just sucks your life force out.
It's a space jellyfish.
It's still threatening. Would you want that on your head? Just
hell no, I wouldn't want that on my head.
You have space pirates like Ridley in there and shit. That would be a really cool movie. That'd be a very fun movie. So other than that, it's hard to think about any more games. But the main question I was thinking about, and I'm asking to you, the audience, is Rampage now officially the best film adaptation of a video game? I'm kind of leaning, it might have to be. I love Mortal Kombat.
I love Mortal Kombat.
But Rampage might take the spot.
No!
Well, it's
on my second.
Well, this video turned out more to be about a discussion of video game films in general and not just Rampage. But that's fine, because there's not really too much to say about Rampage, other than it was a good film with some nice Easter eggs. Yeah. There were probably more that I didn't even notice. But so I'm looking forward to getting that film when it comes out, because I will get that one. I have no problem getting that one. So yeah, pretty good film. Everyone should go watch it. Don't make a sequel.
Don't make a sequel.
Don't
do it.
So yeah, I thought this was a pretty fun talk, just talking about video games, movies. What could be, what shouldn't be, what sadly ended up being what they were.
And thank you for ruining a potential God of War thing for me.
You don't want to see the Rock as Kratos?
Oh my god. I'm sorry. Much love to the guy, but seriously.
You see the Rock enter a brothel and it zooms out and all you hear is...
Oh god. No, I'm not even. No, thanks to you. Anytime I want to play that game now, I just can't, because I'll just be laughing my ass off half the time thinking of stupid crap.
He's all, Zeus, your monkey ass, I'm gonna kick your ass out, you fucking jabroni.
You need to stop, dude.
All right, I think we're tapped out.
Next time I'm playing God of War, you're
okay. For me. Well, you, the audience, what do you guys think of the film Rampage? What games do you want to see made into movies? Do you think Rampage is now considered the best film adaptation to a video game? And if so, do you want a sequel? Do you not? And just let us know in the comments. And since the video is done, you guys should know the drill by now. If you enjoyed it, like the video. If you want to see more, subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well, because when I upload a video, you might not get notified if you don't. If you want to tell me anything about your opinions on the film, other video game movies, leave it in the comments. You can share the video around. And I also have a Twitter account, which you can follow. I'll put the link in the description. I'll put yours in the description as well. You can follow both of us on Twitter. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you guys next time.